Hello, Kopisan, see you again, and thank you for coming and watching. This time I will talk about carbon plate shoe at the price below 700 ringgit Malaysia, which are available in Malaysia, namely this Nike Zoom Fly 3, the Puma Deviate Nitro, Qiaodan Q-Kungfu Pro, and also this Xtep 160, the version 1. First of all, the disclaimer that I have to say is that all of the shoe that I discuss here and I purchased myself, and these videos I produce for my own record, for motivation, and then shared. I'm also not an expert and just an ordinary runner. So the purpose of this video is actually to discuss the available full plate carbon shoes that might be affordable for under 700 ringgit. In fact, the price is below 700 is quite expensive, but if you want to get the carbon plate shoes but not the branded one and the expensive super shoes and less sure that which one to buy, then this video is for you. Here we have the four shoes that are under 700 ringgit, as I mentioned earlier. So these are all of the shoe. I will discuss briefly about the basic specifications, for example, the price, weight, stack height, the upper of these shoes, and midsole, and also the outsole of the shoe. And also, not forgetting the four positive and also negative for each of the shoes. And also, finally, I will discuss which should you buy. Right, okay, about the spec, the price for this Zoom Fly 3 is, if you check it online, it's looked like that it is no longer listed in there, and then it will probably be a new version that will replace this shoe, okay, this one, and probably like Zoom Fly 4, and it's about 600 plus ringgit. I can't remember the exact price, that it's more than 600, but below the 700 ringgit. Then this Puma, okay, the Puma Deviate Nitro, is about 689 ringgit, but I purchased actually this shoe for 40% discount. And also for this Qiaodan Q-Kungfu Pro, this is a China running shoe for the professional running. Okay, the Qiaodan Q-Kungfu Pro is about 649 ringgit, and I purchased about 15% discount. Again, a China running shoe, which is the cheapest among these four shoes. That is the name of this is Xtep 160X, the version 1. The price of the shoe is about 579 ringgit, but I got this shoe during the sale at almost nearly 400 ringgit on that time. So all in all, considering the price of all of these shoes, so this Xtep 160X, the version 1, is cheaper, meaning that it's cheaper than the rest of the shoe, meaning this is below 700, and this one is below 600 ringgit. All right, about the weight, for this Zoom Fly 3, size of this shoe is US 9.5, I mean it is about 260 gram, and this Puma Deviate Nitro is about 250 gram for US 9, so this is a US 9.5, this is a US 9, so probably like quite similar if they are in the same size. And approximately 185 gram for this Qiaodan Q-Kungfu Pro for the US 9, and also about 190 gram for Xtep 160 version 1, so this is also a US 9. So this Qiaodan Q-Kungfu Pro wins for the weight point, which is the around roughly like 185 gram. We look at the stack height. For the Zoom Fly 3, the drop is 8 mm, where the heel is 36 mm and 32 mm in the forefoot. So it's quite high, actually, the stack height. And also for the Puma Deviate Nitro, it is a 10 mm drop with 38 mm in the heel and also 28 mm in the forefoot, so a little bit higher stack in the heel compared to this Nike, but a little bit lower in the forefoot. Now we look at this Qiaodan. The Qiaodan Q-Kungfu Pro is only approximate. This is only my approximation, so because there's no exact measure, so it's about 8 millimeter drop, where the heel is 38 and also 30 millimeter in the forefoot. So it is roughly about 8 millimeter drop. Alright, and also this Xtep 160X with the version 1. Okay, again, this is approximate, where heel is about 30 millimeter and in the forefoot is about 24 millimeter. So the drop of the shoe is approximately 6 mm. And for the stake height, both Puma and Qiaodan has the highest stake, but for the little bit low drop, we can see that this Zoom Fly 3 has 8 millimeter, and also this Xtep is about 6 millimeter drop. For the upper, for the Zoom Fly 3 or Zoom Fly 4, if it's available in Malaysia, the upper is a 2-layer. So meaning that we have with the vapor whip in the outer side, but it is breathable, boot-like fitting at the ankle, and there is no padding in the heel collar. And the heel counter is flexible, quite flexible. And from the overall look of this shoe, it is almost like its big brother, the next percent. We can see that this shoe is a fast shoe. On the Puma Deviate Nitro, the upper is also 2-layered, an engineered mesh on the outer and another breathable fabric on the inside that connect to this lightly padded tongue. Similar with the Zoom Fly 3, the heel collar is non-padded and almost there is no heel lock other than small collar on the inside of the shoe, both of the heel area. And the heel count is quite similar characteristic with Zoom Fly 3. Not too soft but not too stiff. We can push forward. Now we look at the Qiaodan Q-Kungfu Pro. So this is the racing shoe. So the upper is built from a mono mesh, 1 layer only. This is like plastic material, probably similar with Vapor Whip in a Zoom Fly 3, along with the non-gusseted. So this is a non-gusseted tongue. Overall, the upper is very breathable, okay, from the toe box and the side of the shoe. And the heel collar has minimal padding around the heel. So this is a padding, so very minimal. Just a small amount of padding, and heel counter is also can be pushed easily but not too soft. Okay, we can have the upper but not until at the bottom of the heel counter. There is some kind of thick support inside the heel counter at the bottom of the shoe. Coming to the Xtep 160X, the version 1 also, this is a racing intended shoe for its plastic-like monomesh upper, very breathable, non-gusseted tongue, and is slightly padded with holes at the upper. And then we look at the heel collar. There is a minimal padding. It's just enough padding at the heel. And also there is a small collar pad in both sides of the heel for the extra heel lock. The only shoes in this category with a pull tab. Okay, all of these shoe, this is the only shoe that has a pull tab, and it is a pretty hard heel counter. Okay, we cannot push forward easily of this shoe. Now for the upper, it is hard to choose actually between all of the shoe because each has its drawback. For me, I think Puma it's a good upper. It's quite good upper with the 2 layers. Okay, but then it's minus with the heel and this Qiaodan Q-Kungfu Pro, which can be good for racing for the mono mesh. Now we go to the midsole. The Zoom Fly 3 has a soft react form but firmer feeling, especially in the midfoot, okay, in the midfoot area to the forefoot. Probably the ride is soft at the heel, but again firm at the midfoot, probably due to the rigidity of the carbon plate inside of the shoe. In Puma Deviate Nitro, the nitrogen infused form is soft. Okay, you can see it's soft and almost like squishy feel. The feel is like some kind of sinking, but it's not too noticeable when you put your foot in this shoe. The carbon plate makes the midsole to hold. So the ride is soft and fun, but I will come back to this issue, okay, as a negative for me by this midsole. Now we look at this midsole in the Q-Kungfu Pro. So this is made from EVA and is soft, probably similar or softer than the Deviate Nitro. Although that the midsole is soft, but the ride is something like firm because of the rigidity and the quite hard carbon plate underneath, and especially in the midfoot. For this 160X 1.0, the midsole stack is the midsole stack height is the lowest among all of the shoe. However, the midsole from Pebax is quite soft, and this is adequately soft ride. The ride is also towards the soft side but snappy, okay, while the plate is not rigid or hard, so you can bend it easily than compared to these three shoes. Now we look at the outsole of each of the shoe. So this Zoom Fly 3 is similar pattern with the big brother, the next percent, with not fully rubber. Only in the heel and also in the forefoot, from the midfoot and also to the forefoot. And it is grippy and hold up until more than 600 km according to a few review. In the Deviate Nitro, the Puma grip, absolutely grippy, and similar to Zoom Fly 3, it is not fully rubber, but rubber in the heel and also from midfoot to the forefoot. In the exposed form, there is a groove and also holes, and also the peak of a small hole that to show that showing the inner plate carbon. Moving to the Kung Fu Pro, again it is not full rubber but using a high abrasive rubber called QASU in the heel and also in the some of these in the center or in the midfoot towards the forefoot. In the exposed form, there is a hole and also the groove hole that to show the carbon plate, and in my opinion could last up to 600 km. Next, this 160X, similar with other shoes, again it is not fully rubber but in the heel and also from midfoot to the forefoot, and similar with the other shoes, we have the exposed form holes that to show that we have the carbon plate, and also the tiny holes for the shoe ventilation. For all of the shoes outsole, choosing one is a tough choice, but for durability and not for racing all out, I would choose this Deviate Nitro. However, for racing a marathon, I would probably like to choose this Q-Kungfu Pro. But again, I'm not racing all out, so the Puma outsole is my choice. The Zoom Fly 3 is good looking, almost like the next percent. The upper is breathable and could go during the wet run, tempo, and long runs. Well, we go to the positive of the shoe. The Zoom Fly 3 is good looking, almost like the next percent. The upper is breathable, and I think it could go during wet run, tempo, and also long runs. And for this Puma Deviate Nitro, it is stable, breathable upper, durable, soft ride, has a reflective in the heel, and it can be used on many types of run, like a long distance, a rest day. And for me, it can be a daily trainer, but I would suggest to use this for long run and some up tempo day. So Puma Deviate Nitro is fun, but wait until I list some of its negative. Now we look at this Q-Kungfu Pro. This is very light, extremely light. It's lighter than the rest of the shoe, and breathable, adequate padding in the heel, and also good stake height and soft midsole. This shoe is for the race day and for the long runs. Moving to 160X 1.0, the positive, this is the cheapest carbon plate and also stable. It's very stable from the heel to forefoot, and quite snappy, very light, breathable upper, and also soft midsole, so it can provide adequate cushions for running. And this shoe could be good for runners that do not want that rigid carbon plate, so because it's like there is no carbon plate inside. Next, the negative of this shoe. The Zoom Fly 3 is quite heavy for carbon plate shoe. It's 260 or 250 for US 9.5, but still good for a budget. Major drawback in my experience is the heel, where it is not stable, especially on corner and turn. This Deviate Nitro is also heavy, but still good for budget. The lace, if you can see that the lace is somehow pretty short. The major drawback of the shoe is the heel slip. It connects to the comfort when doing the tightness of the lace. Not enough lace tightness, and the heel slip happen, and too tight will make my upper foot uncomfortable and still got this heel slip. Either way, you will feel the heel slip anyway. Then for me, I cannot run constantly faster than 4 minutes per kilometer pace due to the heel slip. Now we look at the Q-Kungfu Pro. Number one issue with the shoe is this could be, it's not branded, okay, and unknown, not so much push into the market. So that this is the major drawback. But for the shoe, although that midsole is soft, the underfoot feeling on every strike is firm. So also at the heel is not quite stable, okay, because it's quite soft. And this shoe need faster pace to get the midsole and carbon plate to work, because it's quite rigid. It's more rigid than compared to this all of this shoe. In this 160X version 1, the upper, especially in this lacing and tongue, is too much happening. It's like it's not tidy look. So the stack height might be a little bit low, and the carbon plate is too flexible, although it feels snappy. Right, in conclusion, these are the shoes with carbon plate available in Malaysia for under 700 ringgit or below 165 USD. So each of these shoe has their own pros and cons, whether you want a budget carbon shoe for training, racing, or both in long runs. You can use any of these shoe as your first carbon plate shoe or use as companion for the super shoes. Actually, there is no definite answer which to buy either. For this Nike Zoom Fly 3 or 4, if it's available, this is good for many runs, but not stable in the heel, and also you do not like a boot style heel collar. This Puma Deviate Nitro is for you if you want to run a long distance, doing up tempo and rest using the same shoe, but probably you will get a problem for the heel slip. This Qiaodan Q-Kungfu Pro is for racing only and fast-paced training. It is not for daily trainer or slow run. And the Xtep 160X for the version 1 for the cheaper price, and if you like a carbon shoe that is not too rigid. All in all, for me, choose the shoe that available and suitable for your run. So there also are the carbon plate shoe that are available, such as the ASIC Magic Speed, but I don't have that shoe. Also, the carbon plate on that shoe is not fully length, only at the forefoot. So with that, I hope the content of this video provides you the basic idea of the carbon plate shoe that for the budget carbon plate shoe category. Until we meet again in another video, thank you and bye-bye.